Hello guys, welcome back. This is episode 6, I think. Last time was a lot of talking. I hope it wasn't too boring for you, but I think we might get more to puzzling this episode. So this is where we left off, you know, at the crashed red herring bus.
A crashed hover bus.
Yeah.
So we're gonna fix it up and do something amazing with it, right, boss?
And
No, it's not our property or our problem.
we talked to this dude, who does not like us anymore, I think.
I have nothing to say to him.
And we can't even talk to him anymore. So let's go to this location too. So this is the old courthouse. Actually, because we haven't looked at it a lot, although we talked a lot. I'm gonna go to our map so you can see this is where we're at. This is the courthouse. And this is Main Street, the tower, and the station. And as for data, let's see if we got anything new. So this we already had. Okay, we actually didn't get anything new. Interesting. But okay, let's see what people have to say here. So this is a waiting area. Hello, fat robot. For some reason it has a monocle.
Oswald Factorbuilt at your service.
There's no more your dear friend than Rex as your creation, you beside gear oiler.
Oh, don't mind Cornelius. He's been bitter since the first great Roman brownout.
Better, I'll show you better, you backbiting bot snatcher.
I think I like these guys, boss.
Okay, so this guy has a top hat and this one has a monocle, which is a little interestingly weird. But let's ask them what is up and why they don't like each
What's
other.
in that building?
Apparently.
Why, Arbiter's court, of course. Why else would we be here?
I need to see Arbiter.
We all do, my dear friend. But the courthouse is locked, and first come, first served.
Okay, so we're not gonna just get into the courthouse.
Why are you waiting in line?
Justice. I'm here for justice. To prove that I, Cornelius Factorbuilt, created this marvelous machine, Rex. Rex Cornelius built.
Ignore him, my dear friend. Candidly, he is 10-23 flops short of a kilo if you catch my drift. The machine's name is Oswald Built. Rex Oswald Built.
This is over a name? Why not just let Rex decide?
Ridiculous. This is about principle.
This is about pride.
So, boss? Would you fight over me like this?
You could call yourself Crispin Crispian for all I care. As long as you still pull things off ledges for me, that is.
Glad to know I'm loved.
Okay, so they are referring to this little robot Rex. And the reason why they're here is because they are fighting over who gets to have Rex be named after them. So this is Oswald and this is Cornelius. Yeah, let's ask them how they're gonna decide who's going to get Rex if the courthouse does not open.
How are you going to decide who gets Rex?
For the law, fool. The law.
I'm not a
Please
fool.
excuse my brother. He can barely remember pi to the 23rd digit, let alone his manners.
For
I rest my case. Suffice it to say, chap, we await the reopening of the courthouse. Or more precisely, we await a summons from Arbiter who will decide our case.
who will say whose contribution was more important? Who will say, in fact, that my contribution was more important?
Okay, so he called him brother, so they're kind of, you know, they're not related by blood, but related in some sense. I think they're both built by the same person, so they're both factor built, I think. And they want the law to judge their case. Let's ask if someone else, wink wink, can
Could
judge
someone
their
else
case.
judge your case?
Of whom were you thinking?
Myself?
Metromine, perhaps? Authoritative, to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for the good of all.
And since the subway schemer
He means Metromine.
shut down our builder Factor, he cannot help either.
They're both
What about
factor.
Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And why should we listen to you?
I've built a robot before, and I have no stake in this.
Yes, well and good, but this is a matter of law and logic. A bit harder than banging together a tin can like your companion. How can we know your reasoning is sound?
I passed my logic course. My reasoning, I'm sure, is sound. So this is where we can say that they should test us, but so they're gonna ask us logic questions, sort of. But I think we wanna ask the other questions that we can ask first.
What if I could find someone you respect? Someone who would be willing to judge your case?
Well, I suppose there's no harm in looking.
No harm to us, anyway. If you want to waste your time meddling in our affairs, then I suppose it is yours to waste.
Very good then. I am uploading the facts of our dispute to your data pouch. If you can find a suitable judge, let us know.
Okay, so we can also try to find someone who can judge their case. That is not us. I'm actually not sure. I don't think I've ever done that. You know, I know who is going to judge the case, but I'm not sure if I ever did that.
You know, boss, however miserable it may be to go around solving other robots' problems, and it is miserable, at least it beats standing in line and waiting for a door to open like these gearboxes are doing.
Very nice, and they're like just, you know, a meter away from you, but I'm sure they didn't hear that. Okay, so yeah, I've got the dispute stuff. Yeah, to our data pouch, but there were other questions we could ask, so I want to do that. I'm looking for a big laser shooting robot.
I'm looking for a big robot that floats and has lots of claws and shoots lasers. It stole something of mine. Have you seen it?
Indeed. The robot you described sounds like Scraper, Metromind's enforcer. Whatever he took is gone forever.
I refuse to accept that.
Oh, he refuses. How delightful.
Not sure delightful is the right word. Okay, do you know where I can find
Do you know
power
where I can
source?
find a power source?
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant in Metropole as it once was.
That Magan Metromine seized it all. Seized it and doles it out. And there's hardly enough to go around now.
Metromine keeps all power sources in the Great Tower, where the Council used to meet. If you want to share it, you will need to pay her in megacycles.
Megacycles?
Yes, megacycles, you ninny. CPU cycles. Brain power. The kind of power she really wants. Her low-rate processor was made for running trains, not a city.
Okay, so this is what I was referring to like 3 episodes ago, where I said, you know, oh, we're gonna find out the next episode. Which we apparently didn't, or, you know. But still, now we know what megacycles mean in this game, and that is brain power of a sort, computing power, which we can use to pay Metromine for stuff, like for example the train ticket that we got, because she needs, you know, she's like a distributed system with lots of cores or something like that. Not quite sure how that is implemented. I mean, we had that little cutscene when we entered Metropole. Yeah. But whatever. Now, we're gonna be tested and see if our reasoning is sound enough to judge their case.
Test me.
An interesting proposition. What do you say, Cornelius?
What did I say? I say that you are a liar and a thief, Oswald. But as to this Horatio, well, as to him, so be it.
Boss, if they make us find 7 lost crystals, I'm quitting.
Shh.
Roger. Consider this. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party.
The what circle is gathered at the what? Is this some kind of vocab test?
Not
I
quite.
said quiet.
Each robot is either a factor built or a Sternweiler built.
Blasted Sternweilers.
And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
This is ridiculous!
Pay attention. Factor or Sternweiler. Quad-core, linear type, or multiplex.
Indeed. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear-type robot was built by factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
Okay, so I'm just gonna write some stuff down, you know, make some notes, because that way it's usually easier for me. But you can pretty much, you know, write down the facts and or put it into a logical formula, and then what? Okay. Someone said something that I did not understand. But then you'll get a solution as to what can or cannot be true. And I think they asked what cannot be true. But anyway, let's write down what the facts are. So we have this bilineal by something. And there's 2 kinds of robots. I think there's 7 in total. Okay, so 7 in total. Which can be either Sternweiler or factor built. They can have, I think there's 3 types of architecture. So linear type, quad core, and multiplex. And just so we don't forget, let's make them repeat the question. Yes, please.
Indeed. And the binomial by it,
7 robots, okay.
Probability circle are gathered for a party. Each robot is either a factor built or a
Oh
stern
yeah, we
wire
have that.
built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad
Quad
core,
core.
a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture. Now I will tell you 3 things about these.
Okay, so now we get
probabilities.
3
First,
facts.
there are more factor built robots.
Okay,
than
more
stern
factor
wire
built.
Second, every linear type robot was built by factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probability circle cannot possibly be true?
Okay, so what we now know is that there are more factor built robots than Sternweiler built. All linear type processors were built by a factor, and Sternweiler does not have any quad core, so we can only actually have multiplex processors. So what statement cannot possibly be true is, I would say, wait. Okay, so let's go through these one by one. 5 robots have linear processors. So we already know that we have more factor built robots and that all linear type were built by factor, so that could technically be true. 5 robots have quad-core processors. Could theoretically also be true because Sternweiler does not build quad-core. So factor build could... No, wait. Is that the one that cannot be true? Because if all linear types come from factor, and there are linear types present, then... Oh no, wait, it can be true. Then we have 4 robots have multiplex processors. So... Sternweiler built multiplex and factor could build multiplex too. So that could be true. 4 robots were built by Sternweiler. Okay, so that one can actually not be true. Because 4, then you already have a majority, which is not possible because we know factor built most, so let's
4
say
robots
this.
were built by Sternweiler.
Good show.
Yeah.
The preceding facts are unchanged. Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Okay, so now we also have the fact that 2 of the robots that were built by factor are have the same architecture. Okay, wait, did he now ask which one could be true or which one could not?
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. And the binomial each robot is either a... And more now I will tell you first, there are more factor-built robots than second. Every linear type robot was built by factor. Finally, Sternweiler never...
Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Okay, so which one must be true is now what they want to know. 1 of the 7 robots has a quad-core processor. I don't think that has to be true. 2 of the 7 robots have linear type processors. Oh, well, could be. 3 of the 7 robots were built by Sternweiler. Does not have to be true, I think. 4 of the 7 robots have multiplex processors, cannot be true. Or Oh, wait, it could be, but it does not have to be. 5 of the 7 robots were built by Factor. Okay, wait. Let's ask one more time. Let's skip through this.
Now, answer this. If exactly 2 Factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Okay, so exactly 2 is, I think, the important keyword here. So only exactly 2 have the same type. So there can only be 4 that were built by Factor, because 2 have the same architecture. Then you have 1 each with the other architecture, so one, for example, 1 quad core, 1 multiplex, and 2 linear. Or only 3? No, wait, it has to be 4 because there's more Factor built than Sternweiler. So it could be the first one. This does not have to be true, it could just be 1 with the linear type processor. 3 of the 7 robots were built by Sternweiler. Yeah, so this one has to be true because it has to be exactly 4 if only 2 of Factor-built robots can have the same type of architecture.
3 of the 7 robots were built by Sternweiler.
Correct. Here is the third question. The facts are still unchanged. Which of the following types of processor architecture might you find in a probabilitist built by Sternweiler?
Okay, so we already know all linear type processors were built by Factor and no quad cores, so it can't only be multiplex, I think.
Only multiplex.
Well, it seems we underestimated you, my friend.
Okay, nice.
Please, take some time to consider, and let us know when you are ready to hear our arguments.
Nicely done. I hope that it did not take too long for you. So you get an achievement if you do this right the first time. I mean, you can do it as often as you like, but you can get an achievement if you really need one. And now we're eligible to judge their case because...
Boss, what about rather than arms, you give me a grappling hook and a harpoon?
That wouldn't be practical.
Who said anything about practicality?
What do you want a harpoon for anyway? But as I said, you know, we're now eligible to judge the case because we're so good on logic. Okay, talk to Rex? No, I can't. But before we do that, I'm not sure if I want us to be doing that or if I want the other person robot to be doing that. So I think I'll decide a little later. So we're just gonna talk to everyone else we can find first.
Hello? Hello?
I don't think it can hear you, boss.
Okay, so this floating robot does not want to talk to us. I'm not sure if we have enough stuff yet, but let's see if we can send a signal, maybe, to this floating robot.
I'm going to try sending messages to him in binary.
In
On
binary.
an analog transmitter? That sounds like fun. For once, I'm glad you're the one with hands.
May Vanderbilt bulbs unfurl their spires for you, son.
What's he saying?
Shh.
You do not join the harmony. I sing alone. I am one part of the great folk. To your God, I will be known as Gimbal, built by Labrador of Sovitos.
Okay, so that was successful. We can talk to this floating robot in binary using our signal transmitter. And she, I'm gonna call her she because you know it sounds like a woman's voice, but said she was from Civitas.
The choir is silent. Burning ship has been extinguished. Strange tractors drag no more. I alone sing the function.
That was not very, well, I don't know, descriptive.
When I came to this silent city, I looked for others to join the harmony. Leopold built my steeple, told me that he had a device that would summon me. In exchange, I traded my secondary motor. What he sold me does not say. You would have.
It's a record.
Leopold tricked me, and he will not return my motor. I will sue him and force him to return. Infinite lawsuits are the one.
Infinite lawsuits. Okay. So she was scammed by Leopold. Because he sold a record that, you know, we know it does sing in some sense, but not the way she wants it to.
I sing with all my voices. You hear only one.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure if I want to ask this, but we're just gonna do it.
Now, I must recover my motor so that I can dance with the harmony.
Looks like we're going to need to go talk to Leopold about a motor.
So what the objective here is essentially is to solve these robots' problems so we can get in front or get to the front of the line as fast as possible, because we want to get into the courthouse and talk to Arbiter and everything, and we want.
You know, boss, ever
have our
since
case
riding that
judged.
train, I've realized how awesome it will be to fly the Unique someday. The sun in my optical sensors, the wind blowing against my forward plating. You are going to let me fly it, right,
Yeah,
boss?
sure.
After spending decades fixing it up? Ha!
But I'm the only one of us with any flying experience.
Hovering.
Same difference.
It's actually interesting. He said decades, so I wonder if that is correct or if that just was, you know, the way he said it. Okay, wait, let's talk to this battle bot before we go to the last location that we can already see. Okay,
Excuse me.
thank you, camera.
Sir, my apologies, sir. 187th Legion built. Surly Company, reporting.
Horatio Nobuild, version 5. A pleasure.
Horatio Nullbuild, sir? Never heard of any service bot with that designation. Still, it's good to see another Urbanian, sir. After things got foobarred back home, I figured Surly Company was all that was left.
Urbanian? What are you talking about?
Assad. Finally made a friendly and he's as cracked as Primer. No offense, sir, just hoped... Well, never mind that. How can I assist you, sir?
Well, lots of information. I'm not sure what foobar means. Like, it makes me think of, you know, in programming examples, you always have a function named foo and a function named bar, but foo written with F-O-O. Or maybe it's something in the information kiosk. Not sure. I think we're gonna try that out this episode. Just, you know, to take a look. But first, let's ask what the Surly Company means and what Urbanian means.
Surly Company. Urbanian. What are you talking about?
Well, sir, I'm not sure quite where to start. I had you figured for one of us, seeing as how you came up as a friendly on my IFF.
I could see you as a member of Surly Company, boss, but as
Surly?
friendly? No.
Zumi's got some mouth on him, huh, sir? Always do those flyboys.
Look, why don't you just give me a quick rundown?
Well, sir, can't see the harm, even if you are a decoy. War's over, after all. It was over before Surly Company even deployed. See, we're Urbanian robots. Long time back, Urbani and Metropol got to fighting over something. Who knows what. The Metropolitans fried their civilians, and Legion told us to strike back. Word was, some big airship of ours was supposed to knock out Metropol's defenses, and we just come in for mop-up. But the Metros took our ship down with their own heavy hitter, some giant named Goliath.
I see.
Anyway, Surly Company was all that was left, so we deployed 200 strong.
What happened then?
Well, it's a long march from Urbani, sir, and most of us broke down on the way. All said and done, the only ones who made it were me, 113th, and a signal bot we call Primer. The rest are all out there in the dunes somewhere.
I'm sorry.
War's war, sir. If it didn't crash hard, they wouldn't have built us in the first place.
If it makes you feel any better, Horatio cut Goliath's finger off.
Well, sir, someone ought to stick a medal on your chest.
So, what's interesting here is that for one there was war between different cities. So there's a city called Urbani. They were at war with Metropol, but they lost the war. He's a military machine and he was deployed in our war. And Goliath was actually a defense robot from Metropole. You know, the Goliath that we encountered. But for some reason he, I don't know, took a beating, was somehow disabled. We'll find that out maybe. But let's ask what happened to the other robots that came here from Urbani.
What happened to 113th and Primer?
After we got to Metropole, we tried to put up a fight, but couldn't do much. They fried 113th, and my rifles jammed. Primer surrendered on our behalf. After dressing us down, they took all my big guns and sold the 113th shell to some scrap dealer. Primer never was the same. He encrypted part of his own logic so he wouldn't have to think about losing the war any longer. Then, he disappeared beneath the city. And me, I came here.
Actually, it sounds pretty dark, you know, like Primer's PTSD because he lost the war that I'm not sure was even ever fought if most of them already broke down on the way, and one was dismantled, 113. So, okay, I mean, I already kind of said that the war did not end well for Urbani, but let's ask anyway.
For Surly Company, it ended when we staggered in here and surrendered. Beyond that, sir, it's all above my pay grade. Truth is, sir, we never even knew what we were fighting for, let alone what the Metropolitans wanted. So I can't say for certain that Metropole won, but I'm pretty sure Urbani lost, what with all the civilians being dead and the army being beaten.
Okay, so he's also talking about dead civilians, which is interesting. You know, what does he mean with that? Is he talking about other robots? Is he talking about something else? But let's ask.
Why are you in line?
Questions?
Seeing as how I'm on the outside now, sir, I figured I had to go pay restitution for shooting up the enemy HQ.
Enemy HQ?
Yes, sir. That big tower in the center of the city.
Okay, so why haven't you paid? It sounds like all of this happened a long time ago.
Years ago, sir. But the courthouse has been locked down the whole time. I figured they'll open it up eventually, and then I can clear my name.
What if it doesn't open?
Well, sir, I know all about hurry up and wait.
Okay, so what's interesting here is that apparently he has been standing here for years without breaking down, by the way. Like, what kind of power source does he have built inside of him? But this situation is not particularly new. Let's ask if he even knows someone.
This seems logical, sir.
What if I could pay your fine for you, or get it cancelled?
Well, sir, then I'd be much obliged, and I'd probably just leave town. Can't say that I'd much like being in enemy territory.
And how are we gonna do that, boss?
I'll figure something out.
Okay, so if you remember, we already saw the damage he did to the door on the tower. So we already looked at
I
it.
inspected the damage. All you did was ding the metal.
Well, sir, until someone shows me the law that says I don't have to pay, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
Which is exactly what we're going to do right now. If
Goodbye.
Yeah, if I
Hold
can
up,
get into
sir.
the inventory. Because, if you remember, we have this refuge rule, whereas you can do everything, you know, breaking kinds of laws. The first 2 days that you're here, if it does not hurt anyone. So that's where his crime, that's the category it falls into. So we're just gonna show him this piece of paper.
Look here. Under Metropole's
Yeah.
refuge rule, a newcomer to the city is not liable for any superficial property damage caused within the first 48 hours of his arriving in the city.
Well, sir, I'll be crashed.
Under the refuge rule, you're fine, given the minimal damage you caused.
Well, for once, I can't complain about the besotting pea-shooters they gave me. I owe you one, sir. If I ever see you again, I'll be sure to repay the favor.
Okay, maybe I should have asked the other question first. But, because he's gone now. But we can't open the door anyway.
The harmony is broken when the pattern is not maintained.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get in front of you.
Yourself, please.
I guess we need to wait our turn.
Okay, so I'm not quite sure what he says when we ask if we can open the door, but we can't. It's locked. And I think he also says we're not allowed to or something like that. So let's go this way, because that was all there is to do at the courthouse right now. And there's a very sad robot here.
A rather simple looking model. What are you doing here?
Hello.
Waiting.
For what?
My boss.
I'm pretty sure the bus isn't coming.
It will come.
Your bus is a burning wreck about 2 blocks from here.
It will come. I must go home. Metromind will take me home.
I really don't think so. Very sad robot. And
Bus
Sonya
stop.
too.
Buses run every 10 minutes. 10 is crossed out and 30 is written below it. 30 is crossed out and 60 is written below it. 60 is crossed out and daily is written below it.
Daily minutes? That doesn't make sense.
If it makes you feel better, daily is crossed out and service suspended is written below it.
Okay, so this illustrates how the city is just deteriorating more and more over time.
Bus stop. Service suspended.
Yeah.
I am waiting.
This dude is just really sad. Because his bus is not coming. Not like there's anything better you could be doing. I mean, maybe there's not.
I am waiting.
Yeah, it's okay, I know. But there's...
Even I feel kind of bad for that guy, boss. He just seems so hopeless and helpless. Kind of like you did with the conduits.
I appreciate your sympathy.
Yeah, thank you. But there's nothing more to do there. It's just a location that you can visit, but there's nothing to do there. So... Oh, that's right. I said we would type in food bar into the information kiosk. And I think we can ask or look up some of the things we also heard that are new. So let's do that. Okay, food bar. Okay, no. Now I'm confused. Like, what? Is it just, you know, the programming example thingy? Or is it something else? Okay, what if I do this? Okay, no. Then let's ask about Urbani. Okay, other cities. During the Primordium, at least 3 other great cities existed: Civitas, Municipa, or Municipa, and Urbani. Little is known about them, other than that they were all part of the War of the 4 Cities, and were all presumed to have been destroyed during that conflict. Okay, so there were 4 cities. There was a War of 4 Cities, and Metropole is the only city that is left. Let's look up War of the 4 Cities. Fragmentary data describes a great primordial conflict among 4 cities, of which Metropole was one. The other cities, Urbani, Civitas, and Municipa, are believed to have been destroyed. Of them, Urbani was the greatest threat to Metropole, but its most dangerous weapon was destroyed by Metropole's guardian Goliath. Okay, so this is probably how Goliath got damaged, by destroying their greatest weapon. Yeah, that's actually all that is new here. Let's see if we can... I'm not quite sure, but I don't think we can look the others up. Civitas. Yeah, it just always redirects to other cities. Was there anything else? I think I want to try civilians. So double L? But I think there's no entry for that. We can look up Primordium maybe? I think we haven't done that. I mean, you should know by now what it refers to, but still. The Primordium was the historical age when basic machines developed into modern robots with advanced logic and processing capacity. Little is known about this period, though archaeotechnologists seek to uncover its secrets in the name of progress. Primordium can be used to describe any period of great advancement. Okay, so I think the Gospel of Man also talked about the Primordium this way, or depicted it as such. But anyway, let's close this. And what we're gonna do now, or the last thing we're actually gonna do now, I think. Not quite sure what time we're at, but
Hey Armstrong, top me off, will you?
there's... Oh, we can actually talk about stuff. Let's do that
Did
first.
you buy an Urbanian robot named 113th Legion build?
I've done a lot of trades, Tyro. I can't be expected to keep track of them all.
Okay, so nothing there. But if you remember, Gimbal is the robot that only sings in a weird way. He took her motor.
You need to give Gimbal back his motor, Leopold.
Okay, I'm gonna call his.
Final, Tyro. Told him that before we did the swap. Now my problem, he don't like records.
You knew he wasn't looking for a record.
Listen, Tyro. I don't know what people want or don't want. They do. Not my job to do Q&A on their faulty logic.
You know he's going to sue you, right?
Let him try. First off, he can't get into the courthouse any more than you can. Second, what's his case? A deal's a deal.
Okay,
Let me see your stuff.
so apparently Gimbal should be referred to as he because he is a robot, and I think it's a small
Is that the
motor.
motor that Gimbal Lapidabuilt
Yeah.
traded you?
This is a Sterling air motor. Something else
Okay, no.
entirely.
Would it help me fly?
Nope.
We're not looking to pick up.
Okay, what about this
Is that
thing?
Gimbal's motor?
Sure it is. I'm a bigger one, and it's yours.
Okay, so that we can't do because we do not have a bigger motor. But what we also want to have is this crowbar.
That's fine too. Got a half-life of 1,000 years guaranteed.
I'm not sure you know what half-life means.
Want it,
Half-Life
I'll
reference.
trade it to you for something shiny.
Something shiny. Do we have something shiny? What about my
The entire
burnt
thing is
sensor?
fried. Actually, wait a minute. The crystal and plug are still intact.
Oh yeah. Now we have
Please, for the
something
love
shiny.
of RAM and ROM, tell me we are not going to build a third energy sensor.
Calm down.
I hope not.
I will trade this shiny crystal. Hopefully for this crowbar. Give me that.
Here you go. A nice shiny crystal.
And one heavy iron crowbar for you.
Why does that not seem like a great deal?
There's a snail there. What the
He's
fuck?
a robot dragging chalk along the ground, boss. I wouldn't expect much conversation.
Okay, so chalk is what that was supposed to be. What about you? Okay, disturbing noise
I
robot.
really want to pop that guy, boss.
He's not a balloon, Crispin.
Your point?
Fine,
Okay.
fine. Put me down for another megacycle.
So now we have a crowbar. And just to annoy you guys a little, I'm gonna tell you that with this crowbar, we can lift this metal plate, if I remember correctly. And then we're gonna get into the underworks the next episode. So I hope you look forward to that. Thank you for watching. And see you next time.